Each year, the graduating class also elects a member of the law faculty to give a faculty address at commencement. And this year, as you've heard, the students have elected Professor David Hall. Professor Hall joined the faculty at Northeastern in 1985, and he's been a towering presence in every way imaginable since he joined this community. For those of you who are not familiar with his history, he was chosen to lead the law school as dean in 1993 and was recruited to be provost by the president of the university in 1998. He returned to full-time teaching at the law school in 2003. All along the way, he has been a transformational figure for students and an inspirational mentor and colleague. He is tireless in his commitment to social justice, ethics, and diversity, and is in his belief that lawyering is best undertaken with a holistic view of life. He has never taken his eye off the need to provide access to justice for all people, and he now serves on the National Board of the Legal Services Corporation. This is by no means the first time that Professor Hall has been elected by the students to speak at commencement, but it will be, sadly for us, the last time. This fall, Professor Hall will ascend to the presidency of the University of the Virgin Islands, and I'm sure that he will bring his lifelong commitment to values-driven education to them, and they will be the better for it. David?
Thank you. It is a very special honor to be selected as the faculty speaker for this very, very special class. As you know, this is one of the most coveted honors for faculty members in a faculty that prides itself on egalitarian ideals. Because it is bestowed upon us by students, those we have taught, those we have grown to know and to love, it has deep meaning, and it is something that will be deeply cherished. This honor has an even greater significance for me this year because of my departure from this beloved community. So I first want to just thank each of you from the depths of my heart for bestowing this gift upon me, which I will always cherish. In the past, I have had the honor of speaking to other graduating classes, and during those sacred moments, I have often focused on how important it is for our graduates to remain true to their values, to avoid the internal fears that trap us all, and urge them to relentlessly pursue the mission of social justice. And though it is appropriate that you are also reminded of these high ideals, I want to focus my remarks today on a much simpler and personal theme. In the last few weeks, as I have reflected on my own departure from Northeastern Law School, I have asked myself the question, how do you say farewell to a place and a people who have given you so much? You and I are confronted with the reality and difficulty of saying goodbye. You must bid farewell to classmates who you might never see again, to faculty members who will soon become distant memories, though their lectures are still ringing in your ears today. And you have to say farewell to a place where you have spent so many of your waking hours in the last 3 years. And some of your sleeping hours as well. I remember a few of you taking a few quick naps during my lectures. But I must say farewell to an institution where I have worked, learned, and grown for the last 24 years. I always knew that my students were smarter than me because you got through here in 3 and it took me 24. But as I reflected on how best to say farewell, it became clear to me that if this institution has done its job, has achieved its ultimate goal of developing you into bright, caring, and dedicated lawyers and human beings, then there is no need to say farewell. When an institution has given us values, skills, and memories that can empower us for a lifetime, then we will never leave that place. We may never visit it again, but those insights and values will always be with us. So we need not this day say goodbye or farewell to Northeastern, because it is in our blood. It is now a part of your DNA and mine as well. But the reverse is also true. So many of you poured your heart, souls, and minds into this experience and thus into this institution. And therefore, this place is no longer the same. It has taken on a part of you and a part of me, just as we have taken on a part of it. So we will remain here because of our authentic and sincere effort to make this institution a better place. If the ideal that lawyers are more than hired guns, but are healers who can help change lives and this world, if that seeped into your minds and hearts, then you need not say goodbye. You need not say goodbye if you understand that public interest and pro bono service are not charity, but are cherished and sacred ideals that gives legitimacy to this profession. If you still thirst for justice, even though you now understand how complex, elusive, and contradictory that ideal can be, then you need not mourn this day. In moments of departure, when we think we want to cry, let us remember to celebrate the richness of life's experience. Let us remember this law school not because of its perfection, which it has never obtained, but because of its willingness to change and to go against the grain. Let us remember it for the sweat and tears that you and so many before us gave to make this institution a more open, honest, and authentic place. Our memories must also include the pain, must also include those challenging moments, those frustrating and disappointing experiences that we encountered while we were here, and the lessons learned not only about law, but about ourselves. These are the true gifts that we this day must encase in the cages of our minds and hearts and then release into the universe forever. I would be remiss, though, if I didn't, as Scott and others did, remind you of the difficult challenges you face in this present job market. I'm sure because of the present state of the economy, some of you would like to stay here a few more years until the market turns around. To those of you, though, who came here today without a job, you will leave today with one. Because by the power vested in me as the incoming president of the University of the Virgin Islands, I now declare all of you as my general counsel. Salary and details to be negotiated later. And for those who were awake in the contracts class, you may know the weaknesses in that offer. Seriously, though, it is in the midst of storms that we discover our true selves and the depth of our human capacity. In nature, we run for shelter in times of a storm. Yet, when we confront emotional, spiritual, and economic storms, we must engage and harness the wind so that we can transform negative energy into positive and long-lasting change. We must be willing to endure the burdens of our callings, and I am confident that each of you will. There is a spiritual story of a man who had reached the end of his life, looking very weary and bent over. The Spirit asked the man, what was life's heaviest burden? And the old man, in deep and honest reflection, answered, having nothing to carry. It is not the struggles of our lives and the caring for others that break us. It is having nothing that challenges us and give our lives true meaning that slowly destroys the inner fiber of our soul. So if the things that give your life meaning are hard at this time, carry it anyhow. If the road to being the type of lawyer that this institution taught you to be gets dark and lonely sometime, walk it anyhow. And if your most cherished ideals are challenged at times, have the courage to examine them, but never give up on the belief of having ideals. So I, like you, will never say goodbye to Northeastern School of Law. I, like you, cherish this place, for it has given me so much, and it has certainly given you a platform upon which you can change this world. On the door through which we exit is a bright sign that reads, "Blessed." I believe you and I can say to this institution, thank you for blessing me with your thoughts, friendship, presence, and love. And if all of us remain true to the ideals that gives this unique institution meaning in the legal profession and in life, then we will never have to say farewell. And those who come after us will never have to say farewell either, because collectively we will have joined at the center of the universe of change, and we will have always pledged ourselves to make justice a reality, to make peace real, and to make love something we are not ashamed to say. I wish you Godspeed.
Professor Hall, in recognition of the honor that the students have bestowed upon you and your service to our institution and the gifts that you have given to all of us, I am honored to present this gift to you. It is engraved as follows. To our inspirational colleague, leader, teacher, mentor, and friend, David Hall, faculty commencement speaker, May 22nd, 2009.